Hey guys, it's Nathan Pennington again from RunDreamAchieve.com. I'm going to make this video over half marathon race day tips. So just to give you a few tips to help you run your best time on the morning of the race. Obviously, there's a lot of things you can't control. You cannot control the weather. So just keep in mind on race day that everybody's got to compete in that, whether it's too hot, whether it's too cold, whether it's windy. Just keep those things in mind. Keep your mind focused on um, what you have your heart set on for the race. So, uh, tip number one: definitely do not get bent out of shape about the weather, or if it's too cold or if it's too hot. Just keep in mind that all the runners in the race have to deal with it, and they're going to handle it. Maybe they'll handle it in a negative way. Your job is to handle it in a positive way. Tip number one. Tip number two, check your shoelaces before the start of the race. I've had numerous races over the years where um, I didn't check the shoelaces, and I'm like 5 miles into the race, and I'm like, damn, should have checked that before I started. So make sure you check shoelaces. Tip number three, check the forecast the day before. So and definitely the morning of before you get out the door, so you know what you're going to be up against. Uh, Definitely checking the weather is just common sense. If you're going to be running in the race, whether it's a 5K or a marathon, you want to make sure that you have, uh, you have the right outfit on. You have the right clothing to wear. So, tip number four: set clothes out the day before. So you just have everything set up. So the morning of the race, all you have to do is get up, get your food in you. Get some coffee. Like myself, I gotta have coffee. So just having all your clothes sat out the night before, so when you get up, they're already set up, ready to go. The next tip: focus on getting good foods in you. Really, this is not so much the morning of, but throughout the week of the race, you want to make sure you're getting plenty of carbohydrates, lots of fruits and vegetables, drinking plenty of water. Make sure you're doing that. Um, Next tip, definitely watch your pace. It doesn't matter if it's the 5K or the marathon. Obviously, in the marathon, you got a lot more time to make up if you make a mistake. You can make a little bit more mistakes in the marathon because it's a longer race. So, but if it's a 5K, you really, really got to watch your pace, and you really got to do that in regardless of what distance it is. So, you're going to have a lot of runners that take off way too fast in the first few miles of the race. So just be cognizant of that. If Keep in mind that no race is going to be won in the first mile. So make sure you pace yourself. Be a little bit more conservative in the early stages of the race, and then attack the last half. So if it's a half marathon, obviously we're talking about a half marathon. So it's the first 10 miles of the race. You just want to stay in control, stay focused, stay relaxed, and then really attack that last 5K, because that's where a lot of people start to get weak, and not only physiologically but mentally, and you can really get a lot of people in that last 5K. So, and if you're training properly, prepping prior to the race, you're really going to be able to react in those last few miles, where a lot of other runners might be having a really hard time, and that might be an area of the race where you can really really pick up and gain a lot of confidence. So, next tip: keep your muscles relaxed in the race. If you keep your face relaxed, generally the rest of their body is going to stay relaxed. If you notice when you're in training, you want to make sure that you're practicing keeping your shoulders down. If they start to tighten up and you want to relax your shoulders, relax your face. Just consciously remind yourself of, I'm relaxed, I'm confident, I'm strong. Say positive things to yourself during the race. It's another great tip for the half marathon. Prior to the start of the race, in the race, in the later stages, just stay relaxed. Continue to say positive things. I'm in control. I prepared well. I'm relaxed. Just keep saying those positive things to you. That will really help a lot in the half. So, and the next tip, just have fun. It's the biggest. The training should be the hardest part of the preparation. It's the training that should be hard. The race should be the easiest part of the whole process. Obviously, the race is going to be tough, but at the same time, you've pushed yourself so hard in training that there's absolutely nothing that any athlete in the race is going to be able to uh, do that's going to, you know, stop you from running a great race. Just keep that in mind. Just have a good time. Try to stay relaxed at the start line. If you're with friends, crack a few jokes. Just stay relaxed, because there's a lot of runners you're going to see that are so they're so tense, and it's like the end of the world for them. I mean, you got it. And then you'll see some runners, some of the best runners in the world. They're cracking jokes. They're smiling. They're having a good time because they've done all the work in training. It's the race that really should be okay. I'm confident. I'm ready to go. It's not so much, nervousness too is going to be there. You're going to be a little nervous. That's normal. Everybody's a little bit, on edge the few minutes before the race. But at the same time, like I can tell you from example, my best races, uh, when I raced in Philadelphia, I was joking at the start line. I ran a 107.06. Same with the marathon. Some of my better marathons in Sacramento, California International. I still remember I was cracking jokes with Emily Potter. She was a part of the U.S. Army World Class Athlete Program, and we're just having a good time. And it was a great morning, 42 degrees, low wind. Everybody was tense. We're sitting there cracking jokes, and we both earned Olympic trials qualifying marathon standards that day. So just have a good time. It's normal to be a little bit nervous, but at the same time, you've done the work in training. Definitely, take confidence in that, and then go out there and have a great race. And then last tip on a half marathon training tip is to just to find a good group in the race and just to hang on. You can take a lot of stress off yourself by being able to just get behind a group of runners and just kind of like what's the word I'm looking for, coast off of them. Just you're going to feed off a lot of energy being in a strong group, a competitive group. And I've always done that in all my races. I try to track a few runners and just try to stay near them. If I'm having a hard time mentally in the race, it's obviously a lot more helpful to have a group of runners to run with, rather than getting in that point where you're stuck and you're running by yourself and you're chasing other runners. That's where you really got to stay in it mentally. You got to be mentally strong regardless if you're running in a group or not. But you really have to be strong and stay focused and relaxed when you're chasing somebody, or if you're starting to fall off the pace and you feel like you're done. You're not done. It's just that you'll have a lot of different thoughts going through your mind. Obviously, if you've raced already plenty of times, I don't know if this is your first half marathon or not. If you're well versed and you're an advanced level half marathoner, then a lot of this is going to be a lot of stuff that you've already covered. But half marathon tips, definitely remember just to focus on what you can control. A lot of runners get upset about the weather, or those are things you can't do anything about. And if it's hot or if it's too cold, outside of just giving you something to bitch about, something to just to voice your opinion about with other runners the morning of, just for conversation's sake, I guess that's something you can do. But at the end of the day, it's not going to change anything. The best runners know how to handle diversity and not diversity, but they know how to handle extreme conditions. They know it's going to be tough, and they still overcome that. They stay focused. So hope that was helpful. And like I said, I'm going to continue to make more videos and hopefully answer some of the questions that you guys have, regardless of what it is, whether 5K marathon, half marathon. So have a great evening or morning wherever you are in the world, and run, dream, achieve.